Welcome to Career Routes into Engineering for STEMtastic. So my name is Paula and I'm a civil engineer and I'm going to be helped today by Mimi.
My name is Mimi Mosu and I'm a civil engineer at Sir Robert McAlpine.
So we both work for Sir Robert McAlpine. So what we're going to talk about today? Well, what is engineering? We'll explore a little bit first and then getting into engineering and then your next steps. So what is engineering? Let's ask tomorrow's engineers, which are now on the NEON website, NEON Futures. So engineering is exciting jobs that make a difference. What engineers do affects billions of people. It's creative and hands-on. It's about problem solving, designing and improving things. It's behind everything. Your smartphone, hairdressing products, lights you switch on, shoes on your feet. So if you enjoy science, maths, design and technology or computing, you too could be designing cutting edge technology or even providing water for drought plagued countries. So there's many different types of disciplines in engineering, and here's just a few: aerospace, biomedical, civil, environmental, mechanical, agriculture, electrical and software. But I'm going to explore a bit more for civil engineering, which is my discipline. So civil engineers do many different things, but some of the things that we do is support life, we shelter people and we help get people from A to B. So looking at some of the websites, the Institution of Civil Engineers, you can see a variety of projects, bridges, buildings, water treatment, all sorts of different things. But let's have a little bit more have a look at that roller coaster and let's have a play.
Watching it come out of the ground is beating all expectations, and it'll be, it's going to be the most exciting ride in the world.
It's without doubt the most complex thing we've ever tackled and the most complex technology we've ever seen on site. The first thing in our focus is it has to be safe. So we've got umpteen levels of backup systems in place on the train, on the track, within the control system, within the sensors. Everything is duplicated and repeated multiply, so we've got absolute control over safety.
Well, it's our biggest investment ever in 121 years. It's a big ride on a world stage.
We'll tease you first of all, because we like to tease people. We'll row you out the station, stop you, and when you're least expecting it, then we'll launch you. And that's acceleration that's sort of akin to a Formula 1 car. You'll go up to around about 75 kilometres an hour at the end of launch 1, and when you come back into launch 2, we boost you again from already carrying some speed up to 85 kilometres an hour. Again, the same levels of acceleration. The highest drop's about 80 feet. In sort of old money. There's one 0G roll, but you'll feel like you're rolling over on a number of occasions, but you're actually not. You're not sitting sort of cocooned within a car or a train, you're sitting pretty much on top with your arms free, your legs free. It's a very, very open seated position and you'll feel very much a part of the whole experience. It's over 3 years now we've been actively involved in the very detailed planning of this ride, so it's kind of getting towards the end of that now and it's getting really exciting.
So how do you get into engineering? Well, there's various routes. After leaving school, ideally you'll have some sort of physics or science and maths, and you can go into academia, you can go into sixth form or further education colleges, or you can go straight onto an apprenticeship. Apprenticeships vary for all different levels, and as well as engineering apprenticeships, there's apprenticeships for lots of other things. The main advantage of doing an apprenticeship is that you get on the job training, which means that you gain an experience at the same time as you're getting your qualifications, but actually you earn while you learn as well. So that's a really good incentive to look for apprenticeships. You can go to degree level either from the apprenticeship route or with the apprenticeship route, and or you can go from the academic route and into the world of work. Obviously, if you're in an apprenticeship, you're already in the world of work. So some things to consider that you can look at sort of after school or even any stage of your career The National Career Service has lots of different information on their websites, and you can look at all different types of people and all different types of jobs. You can see what they do, what the salary is, typical hours, and there's lots of other information on there. Also, you can try and find apprenticeships at findapprenticeship.service.gov.uk. And again, you could search that for different courses and apprenticeships all throughout the country. So when you reach the world of work, nobody expects you to be an all-round engineer. You need to be trained, and we can hear from some of our young engineers and graduates from Sir Robert McAlpine working on the Wimbledon project.
My first year has been great fun. It's been a challenge, there's been some ups and downs, but it's overall been a great learning experience. The support they've given me has been excellent. Any issues or any problems, anything on site, there's always been someone around who will give me the answers if I need. Being a big tennis fan, obviously this was a perfect job, the one I actually wanted to come to. So when I was put it, I was quite excited. And it's brilliant being able to show all your mates something that you've actually done when they come during the championships. So pretty special.
The training programme at McAlpine's is fantastic. When I arrived at Wimbledon, I was given a number of different packages which each had their own challenges that I needed to understand quickly. Since then, I was then promoted to section engineer and was kind of given a section to manage, which was a very steep learning curve, and I had to learn a lot very quickly. But I could only really do that without the support of my team and the wider team here at Wimbledon, which is incredible, the collaboration that we all have, so that all of the young members of staff can learn quickly.
I've managed scaffolding in the past, doing metal work, fire stopping, all the usual start-off packages. As a graduate, yeah, I'm now managing a section and got quite a bit of responsibility. We've got a great team down here, we all get on really well, we do a load of social activities outside of work as well. Yeah, it's just a really friendly atmosphere.
McAlpine have a reputation of being able to deliver quality projects and major projects, and that's why I wanted to work with them after graduation. It's been enjoyable working with McAlpine. It's been challenging, there's a different challenge every day. In my first year at McAlpine, I've learned a lot about working in a team environment and about managing things on site. To anyone considering working at McAlpine, I would really recommend to just get stuck in, give it a go. There's always support when you need it, and it's a great environment and team to work in.
So let's have a think about your next steps. So the first thing you need to do is research, and then you plan, and then let's have a chat about how you can shine. So researching, what do you want to do? So we talked about the disciplines, and they're in different sectors, so you can look around at all the different types of engineering and all the different places that engineers work. You can have a look for role models and think about, listen to people talk about their jobs and think, is that the sort of thing that I would like to do? You can also research companies as well. You can do that by looking on the websites and watching videos like the ones on Sir Robert McAlpine's, or you can look at work experience, which we'll talk a little bit more again. There is lots of different websites out there and lots of different information. A good starting point would be the Engineering Together website, which brings together quite a lot of that information in the careers and role models section.
Did you do any work experience?
Yes. When I was at university, I did work experience for a global construction management firm for 1 year as a placement year as part of my degree.
What did you learn most from your work experience?
I learnt most from my work experience that I actually wanted to work in construction. I enjoyed speaking to numerous people on a daily basis. I also enjoyed seeing projects from start to finish and the fast-paced environment.
How did you go about looking for work experience?
I went about looking for work experience through my university. My university were very helpful as they organised different sessions with different organisations showcasing the placement years or the work experience or summer placements that they were offering.
But obviously in lockdown it could be a little bit more difficult in some ways, but actually it can be easier in others. So there's lots of different places where you can look at company information and actual sort of work experience sessions, and there's 2 good websites that you can look at. So you've had a look around, you've done your research, and now you need to plan. So you may look at apprenticeships and the employers that are going to do that. You may have decided to do some work experience, whether it be on your own virtually, sat at your own computer, or when restrictions allow, maybe it's actually in a workplace. You could have looked at course options. So out of there you might have preferences. You might say you want to have an apprenticeship first and a course second, but make sure you have a few plans, at least an A, B and C, because sometimes you just don't get to where you want to be. You might not get the exam results, you might not get that apprenticeship, so always have a fallback plan. So after you've had a plan, let's make sure that when you go for it, that you can shine as much as you want. So ask for advice on CV and applications from people at home and other people that are able to help you, and do practice interviews and communication. Think about what that world sees about you. What's on your social media profile? What would they look up? What would a prospective employer see when they look you up on the internet? And get feedback and improve. And if you have been really proactive and done things like the work experience, make sure it's on that CV and the applications. Make sure you tell people that you're interested in that particular job and in engineering in general. And finally, some advice from Mimi.
What do you wish you knew when you were 15?
I wish I knew when I was 15 that the opportunities for me were absolutely endless, and I could do anything that I wanted to if I put my mind to it.
What one piece of advice would you give the students listening to this?
If there was one piece of advice I could give, it would be to ask questions.
What's the best bit of advice you've ever received?
The best piece of advice I've ever received was from my mother, and she always told me, if you don't ask, you don't get. And that's definitely true.
Great, so that's my advice to you, is ask people, ask for help, do your research, do your planning, and help yourself shine. If you want to find out more about construction and find out that it's more than just building sites and hard hats, then watch me in the later session this week. And if you actually want to speak to me, I am doing the closing session of STEMtastic on Friday at 2:45. So thank you for listening.